Hello everyone and welcome to my BTG CBS update channel. Anita Dupri stood near the fireplace, her arms crossed tightly over her red cashmere sweater, staring at the flames as if they might offer her some answers. The family had gathered earlier than usual, for what was supposed to be a joyful pre-Christmas dinner, but the mood felt off like a radio station slightly out of tune. Vernon entered the room carrying a tray of hors d'oeuvres, his usual confident stride just a touch hesitant. Sharon followed close behind him, her smile practiced and bright, the kind she'd perfected over years of navigating the intricate social web of Fairmont Crest. They'd been careful, painfully careful, about keeping their late-night meetings and whispered phone calls hidden from prying eyes. But tonight, as the family settled into the plush sofas and high-backed chairs, something shifted. Nicole, perched on the arm of the couch next to her mother, kept glancing at her phone with a sly expression that didn't go unnoticed by Leslie, who sat across from her sipping a glass of mulled wine. "So," Leslie began casually, swirling the liquid in her glass, "I heard the most interesting rumor the other day at the club. Something about late-night drives and secret rendezvous." She let the words hang in the air, her eyes flicking between Vernon and Sharon. The room went quiet except for the crackle of the fire. Anita's head snapped up, her gaze sharpening. Vernon set the tray down a little too hard, a few crackers sliding off the edge. "Leslie, darling," Sharon said smoothly, stepping forward with that effortless grace. "You know how people love to talk in this town. It's probably nothing more than someone mistaking me for picking up extra shifts at the hospital charity board." But Nicole couldn't resist. She leaned forward, her voice dripping with faux innocence. "Oh, come on, Aunt Sharon. It wasn't just talk. I saw the text myself. Well, overheard anyway, when Vernon's phone buzzed during that family brunch last month. Something about 'can't wait to see you tonight' with a little heart emoji. Cute, right?" The color drained from Anita's face. She turned slowly toward her husband, the man she built a life with through decades of ups and downs. "Vernon." Her voice was barely above a whisper, but it cut through the room like a knife. Vernon straightened, his jaw tightening. "This is ridiculous. Nicole, you've always had an active imagination. Sharon and I have been working on a surprise for the family foundation, nothing more." Yet the seed was planted, and it spread quickly. Whispers turned to outright questions. Sharon tried to laugh it off, but her laughter sounded hollow even to her own ears. Anita excused herself to the kitchen, claiming she needed to check on the roast, but everyone knew better. The secret, whatever fragments of truth it held, was out now, exposed under the twinkling lights of the Christmas tree. Vernon followed her, his voice low and pleading as the door swung shut behind them. The remaining family members exchanged uneasy glances, some satisfied, some horrified. Whether it had been Leslie's subtle prodding or Nicole's outright jab that lit the fuse, the damage was done. And for Anita, already carrying the weight of recent losses and worries, this felt like the final crack in an already fragile foundation. Across town, in a cozy apartment overlooking the snow-dusted park, Dany and Andre were experiencing a very different kind of Christmas Eve. This was their first holiday together as a couple, and Dany had gone all out, strings of fairy lights draped over every surface, a small but perfectly decorated tree in the corner, and a playlist of soft jazz mixed with classic carols playing in the background. Andre stood in the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, stirring a pot of hot chocolate with a ridiculous amount of marshmallows because he knew it made her smile. Dany watched him from the doorway, leaning against the frame with a soft expression that would have shocked anyone who remembered her wilder days. "You know," she said, walking over and slipping her arms around his waist from behind, "I never thought I'd be here, doing the whole domestic Christmas thing. But with you it feels right." Andre turned, setting the spoon down and pulling her close. "You bring out the calm in me, Dany. And I like to think I do the same for you. No more running wild, huh?" She laughed lightly, resting her head against his chest. "Still spirited, don't worry. But grounded? Yeah, that's new. And I like it." They'd come so far from the chaotic beginnings, the late nights, the arguments, the uncertainty. Now, as they sat on the couch later, exchanging small gifts and sharing stories from childhood Christmases, the world outside seemed far away. Could they make it through the holidays without tears? So far, yes. No drama, no old habits resurfacing. Just the two of them, building something real amid the holiday glow. Meanwhile, at Ted's modest but warmly lit house on the quieter side of Fairmont Crest, the doorbell rang just as he was settling in with a slice of leftover pizza and a holiday movie on pause. He wasn't expecting anyone. His plans had been simple this year, a quiet evening alone after a tough few months. But when he opened the door, there stood Shanice, bundled in a thick coat and scarf, snowflakes melting in her dark hair, holding a bottle of wine and a hopeful smile. "Surprise," she said softly. "I couldn't let you spend Christmas Eve alone." Ted's face lit up, a genuine warmth spreading through him. "Shanice, you didn't have to." "But I wanted to." She stepped inside, and before he could close the door, two more figures emerged from the shadows of the porch. Eva and Leslie, both grinning like they'd planned this ambush for weeks. "We heard you were going solo tonight," Leslie announced, brushing snow off her shoulders as she hugged him. "Not on our watch." Eva followed, carrying a bag of takeout containers. "And we brought reinforcements, Chinese food, because who needs turkey every single night?" Ted laughed, a sound that felt foreign after recent heaviness. "You three. This is more than I deserved tonight." They settled in quickly, coats off, food spread out on the coffee table, pizza boxes joining the mix. Shanice sat close to Ted on the couch, their hands brushing occasionally in a way that felt natural, unhurried. This was the kind of couple people rooted for, slow burning, built on mutual respect after shared hardships. No rush, just letting the connection deepen. Leslie and Ted shared a slice of pizza, talking easily about old times and lighter topics, a welcome escape from the storm brewing at the Dupri household. Eva chimed in with stories that had everyone laughing, the room filled with the easy camaraderie of unexpected company. As the evening wore on, conversation turned to relationships. Eva's cheeks flushed a little when Leslie teased her about Isaiah. "Speaking of surprises," Ted said, raising an eyebrow, "how's things with you two? I hear this is your first Christmas together." Eva nodded, her smile shy but bright. "It is. We're keeping it low-key, just dinner at his place tomorrow, exchanging a couple gifts. But it feels big, you know? A milestone." Shanice reached over and squeezed her hand. "You two look good together." "Solid." "Yeah," Eva agreed. "He makes me feel seen." And hopefully no drama from certain exes this year. She didn't name Kat or Tomas, but the shadow crossed everyone's mind. Kat had a habit of stirring trouble, and Tomas wasn't far behind. But tonight, in Ted's living room, the focus stayed on the positive, the laughter, the shared food, the warmth of friendship turning into something like family. Back at the Dupri home, the fallout continued into the late hours. Vernon had managed to explain away much of the rumor, documents from the foundation, timestamps on messages that proved innocence, but the doubt lingered in Anita's eyes. She sat at the kitchen island long after the others had retreated to guest rooms or headed home, nursing a cup of tea that had gone cold. Vernon sat across from her, reaching for her hand. "Anita, you have to believe me. It was nothing." She looked at him, exhaustion etched in her features. "Even if it was nothing, Vernon, the fact that it could be believed, that hurts. And right now with everything else." Her voice trailed off. The straw that broke the camel's back, indeed. The family dispersed uneasily, the holiday spirit fractured. Yet in other corners of Fairmont Crest, hope flickered brighter. Dany and Andre fell asleep on the couch, tangled under a blanket, the hot chocolate forgotten but the peace very real. Ted's house echoed with goodnight hugs as his surprise visitors left, promising more time tomorrow. Shanice lingering last for a soft kiss at the door. Eva texted Isaiah as she drove home, excitement bubbling for their shared day ahead. And as the clock ticked past midnight, signaling the start of Christmas Day, the town settled under its blanket of snow. This week had been short, new episodes wrapping up just in time for the holiday break. The next airings would be repeats, diving back into Winterfest with all its highs and lows. The ice skating mishaps, the heartfelt confessions, the betrayals and reconciliations that defined life in Fairmont Crest. Drama in between, the joy, tears mixed with laughter. But for now, on this momentous Christmas Eve, secrets exposed and surprises delivered, the characters held on to whatever light they could find. Relationships tested, new ones blooming, old ones mending, or perhaps not. The holidays had a way of revealing truths after all. Morning light filtered through the curtains at Dany and Andre's place first. She woke to the smell of coffee brewing, Andre already up, humming along to a carol on the radio. No tears last night and none threatened now. They exchanged proper gifts under the tree. A necklace for her, engraved with a date that meant something only to them. A watch for him, simple and sturdy. To more grounded years, she toasted with her mug. At Ted's, Shanice arrived early as planned, helping with breakfast while Leslie and Eva dropped by again briefly, turning it into an impromptu gathering. Pizza remnants from the night before made for funny leftovers alongside pancakes. Ted watched them all, gratitude swelling. This slow burn with Shanice felt promising. No rush, just steady. Eva left soon after to meet Isaiah. Their Christmas unfolded quietly. A walk in the snow, hands linked, talking about futures without pressure. No sign of Kat or Tomas disrupting the peace. A major milestone indeed, and one that felt earned. The Dupris, however, faced a quieter day. Anita and Vernon spoke in measured tones over breakfast, agreeing to counseling after the holidays. The exposure had damaged trust, but perhaps not irreparably. Nicole and Leslie exchanged loaded looks but kept silent for now. As the repeats loomed on the schedule, those Winterfest episodes promising more drama, the real lives in Fairmont Crest paused. Secrets out, visitors welcomed, milestones reached. A Christmas full of surprises, tears held at bay in some homes, flowing in others. But through it all, the ties that bound them, family, friendship, love, held, frayed in places but enduring. The snow continued to fall, blanketing the town in forgiveness, or at least the possibility of it. And in the quiet moments, each character found a sliver of peace amid the momentous occasion that this holiday had become.